Google just dropped Gemini 3.6 Flash, making agentic AI workflows significantly cheaper and faster. We'll also talk about Meta's open source vision models, making huge scientific breakthroughs, and a major European AI infrastructure deal that could shift where you build. No BS AI briefing brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host, Vikash Sharma, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. Alright, let's dive into some high signal items that crossed my desk. First up, a big one from Google. They've launched Gemini 3.6 Flash along with 3.5 Flashlight and 3.5 Flash Cyber. This isn't just another incremental update, folks. The big news with 3.6 Flash is that it delivers 17% lower output token usage, and it's built with client-side computer use for agents directly integrated. You can get your hands on it right now through Google AI Studio, Android Studio, and their Gemini Enterprise Agent platform. What's the real kicker here? That lower latency and a price point of just $1.50 per $1 million input tokens. This is a game changer for real-time agent workflows. Then there's 3.5 Flashlight, which is specifically designed for speed, targeting 350 output tokens per second, perfect for agentic search and heavy document processing. And for those in the security space, 3.5 Flash Cyber is focused on vulnerability detection, integrated into CodeMender, though that one's currently in a pilot program only for governments and trusted partners. For us builders, this means cheaper, faster prototyping for search and document agents, and for high volume workloads, that Flashlight throughput is going to be incredibly useful. Plus, the cyber model offers sanctioned security use cases without third-party dependencies, which is a huge deal for specific sensitive applications. Next, Meta has deployed their SAM3 and DynoV3 models at the Lawrence Berkeley Lab for scientific imaging. Now, this is a fantastic example of real-world impact. They fine-tuned these open-source vision models on microscopy data and then deployed them across 300 A100 GPUs at the National Energy Research Scientific Computing Center, NERSC. The result? They cut segmentation time, something that used to take weeks, down to just 15 minutes. This wasn't just a lab demo, it directly supported complex 3D micro-CT plant tissue analysis, providing unprecedented insights. Why does this matter for builders like us? It shows the mission-critical impact of open-source vision models in a very tangible way. And more importantly, it offers a blueprint for how to run air-gapped on-prem inference in highly secure or government environments. If you're building solutions for sensitive industries, this deployment model is something to pay close attention to. Also on the infrastructure front, we saw Microsoft and Mistral AI announce a multi-billion-dollar European AI infrastructure deal. This isn't just about money changing hands, it's about significant expansion of AI compute in Europe. Mistral is deploying NVIDIA Vera Rubin GPU systems, which are bleeding edge for training, inference, and deployment across Microsoft Foundry, Copilot Studio, and Azure. What's more, Mistral's Medium 3.5 and OCR4 models are now available on Azure Cloud, Azure Local, and even disconnected environments. This is massive. For European builders, this means gaining access to open-weight model options with strong data sovereignty guarantees and air-gapped support. Think about what that unlocks for sectors like finance, healthcare, and government, where data privacy and compliance are absolutely non-negotiable. It's a strategic move that provides more choice and potentially reduces reliance on US-centric AI ecosystems. Shifting gears to multimodal Qwen Image 3.0 is setting a new bar for realistic, information-dense image generation. This isn't just another image model that makes pretty pictures. It's designed for precision. It adds complex layout rendering, micro detail down to about 10 pixel text, and native support across 12 languages. Imagine being able to generate detailed infographics, UI mockups, or multi-panel scientific illustrations with accuracy you haven't seen before. On top of that, it includes internet-connected retrieval for up-to-date visual content generation. For product builders, this is huge. It enables the generation of what I'd call production-ready visual assets for things like dashboards, reports, and e-commerce. And the potential for domain-specific fine-tuning on top of this model is really exciting. Think about how much development time you could save if your AI could generate accurate, visually complex reports or marketing assets with minimal human oversight. And finally, something a little different. The California Institute for Human Science has launched the first accredited AGI graduate program. Or the CIHS has debuted an accredited MS in AGI, taught live online, featuring actual AGI researchers and focusing on foundational science, ethics, and consciousness. It's accredited by the WSK Senior College and University Commission, so it's a legitimate academic offering. Why does this matter to us, the builders who are focused on practical applications today? Because it formalizes AGI as an academic discipline. This isn't just speculative talk anymore, it's entering mainstream education. This will inevitably influence future talent pipelines, shaping who enters the field and what long term research directions get prioritized. It's a signal that the broader academic and institutional world is starting to take AGI seriously as a field of study, not just a theoretical concept. Now, out of all those stories, the one I really want to double click on is Google's Gemini 3.6 Flash and what it means for the agentic inference inflection point. What happened here is Google's latest model, 3.6 Flash, has really leaned into agentic workflows. It's designed from the ground up for agents, boasting a 17% reduction in output token usage and the inclusion of client side computer use. This isn't just about marginal improvements, it's about making agent based applications much more economically viable and performant. They've also rolled out 3.5 Flashlight, which is specifically tuned for high throughput tasks like agentic search and document processing, hitting speeds of 350 output tokens per second. And then there's the 3.5 Flash Cyber model, which is a specialized tool for vulnerability detection, currently in a limited pilot for critical national infrastructure and security focused partners. Why does this matter right now? The combination of lower latency, reduced token usage, and that incredibly competitive pricing, $50 per million input tokens, fundamentally changes the economics of building and deploying real time agents. Up until now, building truly sophisticated real time agents could quickly become cost prohibitive, especially for complex multi step operations. With these updates, Google is essentially saying we've made agentic workflows cheap enough that you can start building products around them today. This isn't just for big tech. This pricing and performance opens doors for much smaller teams and startups. It removes a significant barrier to entry for innovation in areas like customer support automation, personalized assistance, complex data retrieval systems, and dynamic content generation. We're moving from a world where agents were mostly research projects or expensive enterprise solutions to a world where they can be integrated into everyday product features. So, who should really care about this? Founders? Absolutely. If you are thinking about a new SaaS product or a feature for an existing one, the cost efficiency means faster, cheaper prototyping for agents that can do things like intelligent search, code generation, or sophisticated document analysis. Your runway goes further and your experiments are less risky. Product managers need to pay close attention because this unlocks entirely new categories of features that were previously too expensive or too slow. Think about how your product could benefit from an always on real time agent that can process information or take actions autonomously. Engineering leaders will appreciate the performance gains and the integrated client side computer use, which simplifies agent orchestration. It means your teams can focus more on building unique value and less on optimizing token usage or latency hacks. And yes, indie hackers, this is huge for you too. Lower barriers to entry mean you can experiment with powerful agentic capabilities without needing a massive infrastructure budget. Imagine building a niche AI product with real time agent capabilities that just wasn't feasible a year ago. How would I think about this as a builder? I'd draw an analogy to the early days of cloud computing. Before AWS and Azure made compute and storage cheap and accessible, if you wanted to launch a software product, you had to buy servers, racks, manage data centers. It was a huge upfront cost and a barrier. Cloud computing made it pay as you go and scalable. Google Flash is doing something similar for agentic AI. It's significantly lowering the cost of experimentation and deployment for agentic workloads. This isn't about building a better chatbot, it's about building agents that do things. My mental model here would be to aggressively question every manual, repetitive, or knowledge intensive workflow in my product or company. Could an agent handle this? What if it could do it for $50 per $1 million queries? That shift in cost changes everything. It means you can start building those sophisticated, multi turn, context aware agents that can interact with external tools and take actions without breaking the bank. It also frees up your team to focus on the truly unique human centric parts of your product. My no BS take here is this: while client side computer use is still API based orchestration under the hood, it's not like the model is literally running on your desktop in a true sense. The implication of this integration and the token savings are very real. This isn't just marketing fluff. Google is making a tangible economic case for widespread agent adoption, and builders should absolutely take them up on that offer to experiment. The cost curve has shifted in a way that truly enables new product categories. If you want one practical takeaway from today's episode, here it is. Experiment with prototyping a document or search agent using Gemini 3.6 Flash in Google AI Studio to compare latency and token usage. Here's how to try it in under 60 minutes. First, head over to Google AI Studio. It's their web based environment, and set up a new project. You can usually get started with a free tier or a small credit. Next, pick a specific repetitive information retrieval or document summarization task that your team currently does manually. Maybe it's extracting key data points from financial reports or answering common questions from a knowledge base. Then use Gemini 3.6 Flash to build a simple agent that attempts to automate that task. Focus on a few key prompts and maybe some function calling if it needs to interact with external tools. Don't aim for perfection, just a working prototype. Finally, run a few test cases and carefully monitor both the response latency and the actual token usage per interaction. Compare these numbers against your current AI model if you're using one, or just estimate the human time saved. Why is this specific experiment worth your time right now? Because the explicit cost and performance improvements in 3.6 Flash are designed for exactly these kinds of agentic workloads. By comparing its performance and cost directly to your existing solutions or manual processes, you'll get a real world, no BS understanding of whether this new generation of models can truly unlock new, cost effective capabilities for your product or internal operations. It's a quick way to validate if the agentic inference inflection point is real for your specific use case. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.